Does everybody have either pen and paper or a Word document open? So I want you to make notes here of what I'm doing. What are you doing with Joan in statistics at the moment? Correlation.
Regression.
Yeah.
Regression.
Great. Okay, so I've noticed a couple of people have finished the download and the installation. So once you have it opened, you should have a screen like this. So the way OR works, it is command based. So what that means is you type in commands rather than clicking or dragging or things that you might do in Excel. Now I know this sounds like that's going to make it difficult to use, but it's not, because the commands are kind of straightforward. Like, they make sense. They're not unclear. So for example, if you just wanted to do firstly some basic calculations, they're exactly what you expect. Type in 1 plus 1 and hit enter and you get 2. Or you could probably guess what the multiply sign is. So what's multiply? It's star. So look, if you don't have the program installed yet, that's okay. But can you at least write down what I'm typing in, and then you can type it in later. So the first example is 1 plus 1, and the second one is 2 star 2, which should be 4. Now what about divide? You might know this already, the slash. So 9 slash 2 should be 4.5. Yeah. And then lastly, minus, of course, and you get 2. Now you notice that in each case there was the number 1 in front of the number. Yeah. This is just saying that there was one number given back. Okay. So this 1 here is saying that there is one result, and that's the result there too. So there's one. This is the first result here. There's only one. Okay. So the basic stuff is exactly what you might guess. What about power? This symbol. Yeah. Does anyone know the name of this symbol? Triangle thingy? No? I think it's called a caret. Yes. I think so. Isn't it a caret? Yeah. So 2 power 4 is 16. Okay, so if you just write these examples down, and now we'll start looking at some statistics, some data example. But what I'm trying to show you is you can use OR for basic calculations as well, just like in Excel. Okay, did you all type that in? I didn't hear so much typing, and I didn't see so much typing. So if you're not going to type it in, can you at least pretend to type it in so I can feel better? Yeah. Yes. That's better. Okay, so we'll have a look at some data now and some variables. So the one thing that's just a tiny bit different about OR compared to other programs is we don't use the equal sign to give a variable a value. We use a little arrow, but that's just one small difference. So for example, if I want to make x equal to 5, I don't type in this, it's not this. I put in this symbol, the less than, and then I type in a minus, so I make a little arrow. Can you see that? A little arrow pointing to the left. So this is like saying, put the value of 5 into the x. Make x have this value of 5. So now x has the value of 5. So if I was to type x again from now on, I get back 5. So it's like I put the 5 into the x value. The value of 5 into the x variable. I do the same with y, make it 2, for example. And then x plus y, what answer should I get back here? I should get 7, and I do. Okay. So I've made x have the value of 5. I made y have the value of 2. And now whenever I type in x and y, they'll have values of 5 and 2. So x plus y, no surprise, I get 7 here. Okay, and x times y, what should I get here? What should I get? 10. Yep. Okay, now let's start looking at something a bit more complicated. So, if you want to clear the screen for the people who have it open, I think Control and L will clear the screen. Control and L. What's wrong? Huh? Now, hang on. If you need to ever get back any of the commands you typed in, if you press the up key, you can go backwards to all the commands you typed in. Can you see that? If you press up and down, you can go through the commands you typed in. Yes? So it's not gone, okay? Don't panic. Do you see that? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, so let's start looking at some data now. So far we've just put single values into variables, but of course that's not what's going to happen for you. You're going to have a list of numbers. So the way we can do that, let's make a variable called data. And if we have a list of numbers, what we type in, we use a special function called C, brackets, and then we put all our data in between the brackets here. So for example, like 5, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 7, -2, 9, 9, 9, 9, something like this. So I'm just I'm imagining this is my data, whatever the data is. It could be anything, whatever you're measuring, from an experiment, from a survey, whatever. So I'm imagining all of this is my result for my data. I just called it data, but if it was something like, what experiment did you do in chemistry, like enzyme activity or something, or reaction or whatever? So you might want to call the variable reaction, and then we can put in some numbers. So 1, 2, 0, 4, whatever. I'll just put in random numbers. So if you have the program running, make any variable, whatever name you want, and put some numbers into it like this. Yeah, have you done that? Yeah. What name did you give it? Data. Just call it data, yeah. Oh, better plug this in. Okay, so what type of stuff do you need to calculate on data? So for example, what calculations have you done with Joan in the statistics? Add them all up, yeah? Something a bit more basic. What might be a basic thing you would want to know about the data? Mean, yeah. For example. So the function to calculate the mean is exactly mean. If you type in mean brackets reaction, it will get the mean average of your reaction data. It's 5. So you see that makes sense. The function name is mean, and you just type in mean brackets reaction and you get the mean of the reaction. What else might you want to know? What else? Median. So median reaction, 3.5. What else might you want to know? What else? Yeah, sum of the reaction. So what would this be, do you think? No, I mean, what would it give me? What will it do? It will add all your numbers together, yeah? 60. What about if you want to know how many data points you have? Well, we use a function called length. So length of the reaction, that means how many you have. So I have 12 numbers here. What's the formula for calculating the mean? What's the formula in maths for calculating the mean? The sum over the how many you have. So what's the sum here? 60. And how many points do we have? How many points do we have? 12. 60 divided by 12? 5. Which is exactly what we got when we used the mean function. Yeah? What else do we need to calculate on data? What else? So we've had mean, median, sum, length. What else? Yeah, so let's see what happens if we get mode. Now, I don't know if this one will work, if there is. Yeah, this one doesn't work because I don't actually think there is a mode, is there? No, there is. There is a, so mode is the only function that its name is not the name of the function. So we don't calculate mode like this, but I'll show you in a minute how to get mode. What else is there? Yeah, let's see what happens if I type in range. And you get 0 to 22. What is the minimum? It's 0, isn't it? And what is the maximum? It is 22. There's still one thing which is important to calculate that nobody said yet. Something before that. No? 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 It usually comes after mean in the workbook. After you calculate mean, median, mode, what's the next thing? Standard deviation. So what do you think the function name for standard deviation is? No. Because usually in programming, when the name becomes too long, we use an abbreviation. So we'll try SD, and you get the standard deviation. This is a lot quicker than using Excel, right? And it's a lot quicker than using pen, paper, and a calculator. I mean, it's a lot quicker than Excel. Because in Excel, you would have to, find the function, highlight the data, and all this stuff. Here, you just type it straight in. Yeah?
How do you backspace?
What do you mean, like go backwards, or?
So now if I wanted to go delete XG, would it just...
I mean, well, all we can do is clear the screen completely, yeah. We couldn't, remove this, because this is like a record of what we typed in. Yeah? Okay, so now we have to look at something a little bit more difficult, like what you were saying, upper quartile, lower quartile, interquartile range. Okay, so please write down the functions here, because I'm going to clear this screen. So I'll just give you 1 minute, make sure you have whatever notes you need, and then we'll look at the quartiles now. So how many people have managed to get this installed now? Yeah. You can get our studios in a little bit. In fact, if you open up the first program you install, you should be able to continue with what we're doing. It's just the only difference is the interface is not as nice as our studio. It's a bit more bare, but the commands will work still. Yes. Okay. Can I clear this now? Yep. Don't worry, hey guys, don't worry if you didn't manage to install it now. You can just finish installing it later today. As long as you type these commands down and practice, you'll be fine. Okay? Yep. Okay, can I clear this? No? Yep. So I cleared the screen, but my information is still saved. So for example, if I type in reaction, I get back all my numbers. Yep. Now, let's calculate the quartiles. There's a very nice function in OR called summary. Yep.
If you want another data, then you have to change the name.
If you want to put in some more data, yeah, more data. See, 1, 2, 3, something like this. That's fine. You just give it a different name. Yeah. Okay. So there's a nice function in OR called summary. So if you type in summary reaction, you get this, which tells us the minimum value, the first quartile, the median, the mean, the third quartile, and the max. So it gives you many things at once. So now we are much, much faster than Excel, because in Excel we would have to calculate these 6 things independently, individually, highlighting, copying, typing in functions. Whereas now we just type in summary reaction done. We got this 6 pieces of information. Are we starting to see why this program is used a lot at universities? Okay, it's a very simple, fast, easy to use program. But this is only the beginning of what the program can do. It has many, 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 many features. Okay, with Joan, have you done things like calculating standard deviation and then standard deviation if the data is then doubled? You know what I mean? Like you have some data, you get the standard deviation, then you double the data and get the standard deviation again. Nothing like this? No. So let's have a look at this. Look. So I'll just call X. I'll say X are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Standard deviation of X, 1.87. Okay, I'm going to have Y now. Now, if you were to do this in Excel, so what I want to do is, I want to make, correct, look, if you haven't got it installed, that's fine, but just listen and take notes. That is great. Good news. But still listen and take notes. Okay? So, imagine in Excel you had a column A or column X, and you have 10 numbers in it. And beside it you want another column that has all the numbers of X in it, but twice as big. What would you need to do? Well, you would need to type equals 2 star the number on the left. You know? Whereas here, if I want to make something called Y, which is X, but all the numbers have been doubled, what do you think you might type in? 2 star X. And if I type Y, what number should I see as the answer? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And I get that. Okay. Now, what's the mean of X? The mean of X is 3.5. So what do you think the mean of Y is? If Y is twice as big as X, what do you think the mean is? Should be 7. And it is. Standard deviation of X is 1.8. What do you think the standard deviation of Y is? Do you think it'll be twice 1.8? Yeah? No, it won't be. But you'll do this in math class. Oh no, it is, sorry. Well, let's check it. No, it is exactly it, yeah. I was thinking of something else. Have you done variance? No, variance. No. Variance is not like this. Standard deviation is. Okay, so we have x, y, standard deviation x, y, when we double them. So this time what I want to do is not double them, but just add 1 to everything. So let's say z equals. So what do you think the command is here? To add 1. Yeah, now let's see what happens here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do you see that? Okay. What do you think the mean of z is now? And remember, the mean of x is 3.5. So what do you think the mean of z is? Do you think it's 4.5? It is. Now, what about the standard deviation of z? Do you think it's the same, or +1, or different, or what? What do you think? What do you think? Your opinion. We're allowed to be wrong. What do you think? Very good. It's the same. So when you have data and you add or subtract a number to it, you change the mean, but you don't change the standard deviation. So for example, if I had w equals x plus 100, there's w. Is the mean going to be bigger? Definitely. Mean of w is much bigger. But amazingly, the standard deviation is still the same. This is something that you'll do in maths class with Joan. I just wanted to show you with some data these behaviors. Yeah. Okay, so we have mean, median, mode, length, lower quartile, upper quartile, range, interquartile range, minimum, maximum, standard deviation. So what else is there to do in statistics? What have I not looked at yet? Well, yes, cumulative frequency, but I'm thinking more of something much more different than what I'm doing. Right now I'm doing calculations, yeah? What have I not done yet? What else do you do in statistics? Graphs. What graphs have you done? Scatter graphs. Have you done histograms? Yeah. Trying to make a histogram in Excel is a nightmare. You just can't do it. There are many problems. Excel will automatically put a distance between the bars. Okay, I mean there's many problems to try and do in a histogram in Excel. But you can easily do a histogram here. So first let's make some data. Let's make a data H. And I'm going to make H height of people in a class. Don't worry about what I'm typing in. I'll show you this later. Oh no, not mu. There we go. Well, actually, maybe I'll tell you a little bit about this. Have you done normal distribution, bell curve, anything like this? Like when you did histogram, have you talked about the shape of the histogram? Symmetry and the skewness and things like this. So another nice thing about OR is that you can simulate data. So this command here, do you see it here? OR norm. What I'm doing is I'm making some data, and I want the data to roughly have an average of 150. What do you think this part means? You want your data to have standard deviation 5, and what do you think this means? 20. Well, let's make it more interesting. Let's make it 200. Okay. I type in H, and what should I see now when I press enter? I should see 200 numbers. I do. This is number 199. This is the last one, 200. Now, if I type in mean of H, what answer should I get? Yeah, what should it be? Should be about 150. 150.4. Standard deviation of h, what should I get? 4.88. Okay. Now the reason it's not exact is because in the command it's generating the numbers randomly, so it's not going to be exact. Okay. But anyway, have you looked at histograms of people's height? Do you know what shape of a histogram this is? Do you know the shape of this? Is it symmetric? Is it? Yeah, it should be roughly a bell curve. So what do you think the command might be to make a histogram? We think this maybe? Yeah? Oh, there we go. So we have histogram here. You're never going to do this in Excel in one click. It's just not going to happen. This histogram, though, is not usually the way we want it, because we don't usually want frequency on the y-axis. What do we usually want? You want a density on it, don't you? So what we can do is, in the histogram function, we can type in frequency equals false, I think. And this will make the histogram, but it won't use the frequency. Instead, it uses the density. I'll have a separate lesson on graphs, because there are many graphs to make. Histogram, what else? The scatter plots. And there's other calculations we need to do. You said you're doing correlation, so we need to calculate correlation as well. But maybe just the last thing to show you is, if you have a function like histogram or mean or whatever, and you need help on using the function, if you type in question mark with the name of the function after it, what should open up is the help file on the function. So if I hit enter here I should get the help file, and it can tell you what the options are. So you see here, one of the options is frequency. Do you see that? And it explains it down here. Frequency. If true, the histogram uses frequencies. If false, it uses densities. But you can see there are many other options. Like, for example, what do you think xlab would be? If you were to guess xlab. Yeah, well, if you didn't know, you can go down here and you can see that xlab is the title for the x-axis. So, for example, if I go back here and type in xlab equals quotation marks some x title and draw it. Now I've changed the title here. And what do you think main, what might that make or change? Main title. Yeah, and of course you can do them both together. See? This is much quicker than Excel, because in Excel I don't even know right now exactly how to change the title. It's something like right click the title, axis properties, axis name, type in the name. It might not even be that. But here, if you didn't know, you can look it up. But after you make a few of these graphs, you start to memorize the names you need to use. Yeah? So like I said, I'd like to do a lesson on correlation, like what we did for the experiments, histograms, and other calculations like this. Okay? Okay. So I think... Oh yeah, and the other thing I want to do with you, which I'll do next time, is how to read in the data from a file, because you don't want to type in all your data, because if you have 1,000 data points, it'll be difficult to type them all in. So next time we'll see how to read the data in from a text file. You know what I mean? Like how to import the data. Yep. All right, we'll leave it there. So, but just before you go, I just want to take your names as you go out, so I can